ओम नमः पाणिनिगात्यायन पतंजलिभ्यः शब्द विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋभ्यः परमऋभ्यो महद्भ्यो मनुभ्यो गुरुभ्यः. Any doubts in yesterday's class, last class? Are the things clear? Sumitra, will you take up this what you call Chintana?
So far in the previous classes we were talking about Shabda or Shabda Shabda. What is the meaning of a Shabda or Shabda Shabda?
Kanipana Shabdana Shasanasya Prayojanani, something we started.
No, earlier to the last class.
Last class only you take. Do not go beyond that.
No, we started from there. You started saying that that about Shabda and Shabda Shabda we were seeing. First we were talking about Sphota. But that Pāṇini has not taken up for analysis. And pratyayika padarthakah athava dhvanihi shabda iti uchyate. The definition that you gave. And Vaikari only he takes and compiles only for that the sutras and everything. So Anubandha Chatushtayam that we will see in the due course, which is Vishaya Adhikari Prayojanam Sambandha. So it has been clearly stated that the Sphota is the Siddhānta, but to arrive to Sphota, Shabda Brahmam, which is Sphota itself, we want Vaikari Shabda to arrive at that. So that kind of Vaikari Shabda is being analyzed by Pāṇini. Prayojanam anudishya na mando api pravartate.
Anudishya.
Anudishya.
Uddishya. Na uddishya, anudishya. Da under da. Anudishya.
So without any purpose, even a manda will not proceed with any kind of action. So first we should know what is the prayojanam of reading something or doing something is the idea that he is trying to say about. Here it is Shabdana Shasanam because we are trying to learn that. There should be some purpose and that has been discussed. Kani punaf Shabdana Shasanasya prayojanani. So Kani is what are all the uses of learning the Shabdana Shasanam. Raksha, Uha, Agamaha, Laghu, Asandeh.
Raksha, Uha Dirgha Nasti.
Uha
Pumlingi Shabda.
Uha. Agamaha, Laghu, Asandeh. Agama is the, we can say it is the prescription that Shastra gives you. Okay, so a Brahmana has to learn Vedas and Vedangas. So the kind of prescription that has been prescribed is Agamaha. Rakshartham. Which Raksha? Veda Rakshanartham Adhyayanam. Vedanam Adhyayanam Vyākaraṇa.
Vedanam Rakshartham Adhyayam Vyākaraṇa.
Vedanam Rakshartham Adhyayanam Vyākaraṇam. Adhyayam.
It has to be learned.
Adhyayam. Oh, okay. It is like you have to learn it. Okay. And Veda is the mass of knowledge. That was said. And then No. You said no device to know. There was a shloka that you mentioned.
Sorry?
You mentioned a shloka where you mentioned no device to know, like na yastupayo.
Dattana Pratyakshenānumityāvā
Pratyakshēnānumityāvā yastupayo na vidyate. Evam vinanti vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. Vedata is the jati that we are talking about. Veda jati. This particular thing can be known only through the Vedas. The thing that is conveying. So how to get knowledge of something? How do we arrive at something? First one is perception. That we get through pratyaksha, that is sense organ. Like if I say a bottle, I touch and feel and I understand through the jnanendriyas and the manas. Through these, I understand the perception. And again, it could be
Indriyartha Sannikarsha-janyam jnanam pratyaksham. Taka Sangraha. Indriyartha Sannikarsha-janyam jnanam pratyaksham. The manas is not set there actually. Manas also, because without manas, how will you do? Even in Nyaya-darshanam, even Nyaya-darshanam, this is not said.
Is it because it is karmendriya and jnanendriya? So is that the reason why they left it out?
Actually, I guess in that manas is not considered as an indriya. Maybe
I shall tell you. Achha, can you remove this spot thing? Spotlight you have put.
Yes. That is for the video recording. Otherwise, what happens if anybody we see speak, then that also capture in the recording. So in the spotlight, we are recording only you.
But at the discussion we also recorded what is there.
No, I will remove that discussion. I will remove that.
You can do that. Otherwise, also discussion also let it be recorded. What is wrong?
You can put.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now you see the question is, now you are in spotlight.
I'm not spotlight. Nobody is spotlight actually now.
Now you only appear as big and the rest are small on the top, something like that.
Maybe a gallery. You can click the gallery again. On top right, click the gallery view.
Gallery, yeah. Okay. Yes. Now it is correct. Okay.
And if I make you spotlight, then also you will be select the gallery view again. Is it okay?
Yes. The gallery view I can select it. Okay. So, actually, the question is this. In Vedanta Paribhasha, there was a heavy discussion. Taking Manas Shasthani Indriyani from Bhagavad Gita, Manas is not an Indriya. But if you take Sankhyam and Yoga, in Sankhyam it is clearly stated, even in Manusmriti, okay, Manas is both Jnanendriya as well as Karmendriya. Okay, so what happens is, so whatever Vedantists think, let them think, what they say is, in nowhere in Veda, etc., this Manas is not considered as an Indriya, something like that they say. It helps Indriyas in understanding. Manasa Sanjuktani Indriyani, etc., Mahābhāṣyam. That means the Indriyas, when they come in contact with something, then the Manas would help them understand. Actually, what is the difference between Manas and Indriyani? When someone is sleeping, all the Indriyas would cease to. They are also sleeping. A snooze or something like that they say in language. Sleeping. What about Manas? Manas is working. That's why people get dreams. How you have to explain tomorrow to students actually what is happening? Let us take the practical situation. So what happens is, some people think that Manas is also Indriyam. Clearly it is said in Sankhya Darshanam. Yoga also. See, Sankhya and Yoga, there is not much difference. The same number of pramanas, 3 pramanas, etc., that is there. So here what happens? Yoga is called Seshwara Sankhya. Sankhya is called Nirishwara Sankhya. That means there Pradhanam is taken. Pradhanam or Prakriti, Purusha, etc., all those things are taken in Sankhya. When we come to Sankhya Darshan in Shiksha classes, I will explain that. So now, Manas is also there. Okay, it is also, actually it is the main thing. Without Manas, how can someone get the knowledge? See, Shakuntala was sitting. Then, by Sarvakopi Durvasaha, he came. and said Bhavati Bhikshandehi once, Bhavati Bhikshandehi twice, Bhavati Bhikshandehi thrice. He said, no answer. Vichintayanti yamananyamanasa tapo nidhim vetsina mamupasthitam. Atas samipe. Your mind is somewhere. This is called Stambhavastha in Alankara Shastra. Just like a pole. Okay. So, Chintayanti yamananyamanasa tapo nidhim vetsina mamupasthitam smarishyati tvam nasabodhitopi san katham pramatta pathamam krutamiva. Just like a pramatta who is, his mind is not, doesn't have concentration, he forgets whatever he has done earlier. In the same way, although you try to remind him time and again, he should forget you, whom you are thinking, who is in your mind. See, offered a shapa. So here what happened, Shakuntala is there, everything is there, and Karacharnadi body is in active, working condition. We call working condition. Okay, but what happened? Mind is elsewhere. Okay, in Telugu we call it Paradhyanam. If someone we are talking, it doesn't go into their mind, they are thinking about something else. Then after you complete this thing, then you ask, what did you say? Hare, Paradhyanam you follow. Okay, inadvertent they are. Therefore, they are not able to catch the thing. This is the vector example. So similarly, if mind is not present, mind is body is present, mind is absent. In the classrooms, teachers tell students, oh, your case is this. You are not listening to the lesson. Only body is there. Something like that. So manas is also an indriya according to Sankhya, etc. So this question of karmendriya, jnanendriya. But in Mahābhāṣyam, this point is taken up. And then he said, Anuktam Anyito Grahyam. That means if something is not said in this Shastra, borrow from other Shastra. Since it is something is said in Vaisheshika, we will, something like that, Nyāyabhāṣyam goes of Vatsyayana. Okay, so here what happens, Indriyas are involved with their subjects for listening, for looking, for etc. etc. Okay, so that is the actual meaning. Further, I wanted to give one or more points. Kani punah shabdanushāsanasya prayojanani. The actual meaning is that, on the other side, you see, take Sanskritam separately. In the beginning itself, I told you, because it is associated with dharma, roughly philosophy. No language on earth is. That's why even today it is suitable for computers. It is the only language, Sanskritam. Okay, there what does he mean, Patanjali? See, there are three kinds of karmas, or four. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma. Some people add Prayaschitta karma also. Nitya karma is, which is ordained, prescribed by Veda, Ahara Sanjham Upasita, Vedadhyayanam, Agrikaryam, and Brahmayajna, Panchamahayajnas are there, etc. If you ask for reference, actually in first Adhyaya, second Adhyaya of Manusmriti, it is clearly stated, for Brahmana 6 karmas are there. Adhyayanam, Adhyapanam. Okay, recitation of Veda, teaching Veda. Dana, Pratigraha. Dana means offering donation, Pratigraha means accepting donation. Yajanam, Yajanam, performing yajnas and supervising, make others perform yajnas. Shakkarma, these shakkarmas are there. Okay, on this side, what happens? This what you call Adhyayanam, Vedadhyayanam is a Nitya karma. Now, Patanjali's question, it will become clearer in the coming lessons. Patanjali questions, do you mean to say that Vyākaraṇam is a Nitya karma or a Kamya karma? Nitya karma is this, Sanjhāvana, Agnihotra, etc. Kamya karma is with a kama desire in the mind, some people do. For example, for children, etc., people go for marriage. Yaga, I want to go to Swarga, I am not satisfied with the Korada, etc. here, so I want to go to Swarga. So, That is Jyotishthamena Sargakamoyija, he wants to do. And Satyanarayana Vratam, for example. What for? There, I want to build more and more stories on this thing. I want more and more money. Olden days, I want more children. Then, not now. Okay, like that, he has got so many desires in the mind. For that, he is performing Satyanarayana Vratam. Someone came to me the next street long ago, 30 years ago, and said, I want to perform Graha Pravesha and Satyanarayana Vratam, but I have to invite so many people. There is no any facility, etc. Then I said, sit down, have peace of mind first. You want to perform Graha Pravesha. Since you built a house, you have to perform Graha Pravesha. That is called Nimitta. Nimitta is, so that is Naimittika Karma. You also want to perform Satyanarayana Vratam. That is, you have so many desires. You want to pray to Satyanarayana Swami, give me this, give me that, etc., etc. And taking all the Navagraha, the Nakshatra, etc., you go and do all the things, isn't it? That is Kamya Karma. Both are not connected. Why people are doing, if you do combinedly, you can save a lot of money. Otherwise, for Graha Pravesham, you have to call once. And Satyanarayana Vratam, again, you have to call once. So now to save money, people are doing just together. Actually, strictly speaking, there is no any connection between Graha Pravesha and Satyanarayana Vratam. Is it clear? So now what happens? Patanjali is asking, Kani pada Shabdana Shasanasya Prayojanani? Do you mean to say that I should learn Vyākaraṇa because it is prescribed Nitya Karma? Or is it Kamya Karma? If you want to know the Shabdas, Shabda Swarupam, if you want to know the Artha of Vedas, etc., nowadays there are so many people you will come across who, without undergoing learning the 6 Shastras, they go on talking, giving lectures. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I received a message to all people without any restriction. Anybody can come. We will teach Vedas, what is said there, and what you have to, etc., etc. So everybody is a Pandita. If you say, are you a Pandita, just like are you a poet, you cannot ask anybody. Everybody is a poet. So like that, everybody is a Pandita nowadays. You cannot simply brush aside like. So anyway, so now what happens? He is asking, that is the question, meaning of the question. Nitya Karma, Vyākaraṇa Jhayanam, or Kamya Karma. Then he has given, these are the prayojanas you have to. Sharma.
So is there a mention in the Vedas about the 6 Vedangas?
Mandukopaniषad. Yes. Vedas, Vedangas, okay. Puranas, etc. All these things are listed there. So, unfortunately, in the available shakhas, 12 or 13 shakhas only available. Fortunately, we have them. Otherwise, somebody would come and say these things are not said in Vedas, Upanishads, etc. So what they want is that.
But nowadays, like you said, that many people have directly jumped into the Vedas and they are not interpreting, they are misinterpreting those things. So
that's it. Even to interpret, they should have studied under some guru or the other. Then they will know what is Vakyartha, what is Shastrartha, what is the meaning of a sentence. What is Prakriti, what is Pratyaya, why it should be interpreted like that, why not like that. Isn't it? All these things, how to get? People don't have time, they don't want to sit down before anybody, they feel shy, or they have some ego problems, so many problems. Arishad Varga is already there in the mind. So what happens is, they cannot approach and sit down and learn. This is the problem. At the age of 56, I went to one guru to learn again Vedanta. I have already studied. Gandhi was learning Bengali at the age of 70 plus. Karl Marx was learning Russian at the age of 70 plus. So there is nothing wrong. No, note down, Sumitra. Ajaramaravat prajnaha vidyamarthancha sadhayet. Ajaramaravat prajnaha vidyamarthancha sadhayet. Okay. So this is from Hitopadesham, I think. Jara is old age. Mara is Maranam. Achprachya. Murundhatu. So as if one does not have either old age or this death, one should earn both knowledge and money. Vidyam arthancha sadhaye. Both one should earn. Because that is a very good habit, education, because you do not have time to discuss unnecessary things about outside people, what they are doing, how are they doing, are they, did they get married, and what about their children, what about their internal nuisance, something like that. So you will have a very good time pass, isn't it? So ajara prajnaha means panditaha buddhiman. Ajaramaravattu, as if he, just like a person who doesn't have either death, either old age or death, vidyam arthancha sadhayet, should earn both vidya and dhana. Got it? So this is what. So therefore, one should earn this knowledge also. Therefore, he says, then Vedanam Raksha, you have said this. Next, Ohaha, Oha Kalvapi. In Oha, what happens? In Mimamsa, note down Sumitra, Prakrutivad Vikrutih Kartavya. Prakrutivad Vikrutih Kartavya. Okay, this is Mimamsa. There is a Nyaya. What is this? See, Patanjali already said that Sarvai Lingaihi Sarvabhavibhaktihi Vede Mantra Negaditaha. Huh? These are not there. Then what is the problem? Te yatha yatham yajnagatena purushena viparinamayatavyaha, etc. Isn't it? So what is this Mimamsa actually? Here there are two kinds of yagas, Prakriti Yaga and Vikruti Yaga. A yaga would have so many angas. Okay? So many angas here. So if the list of complete angas, what is to be done during a yaga, if the complete list is offered, it is called Prakriti Yaga. For example, Mahābhāṣyam, Sabdakamo, Yajeta, there all the angas are offered. Okay. So here it is Nyaya says Prakrutivat Vikruti Kartavya. What is Vikruti Yaga? Prakriti Yaga means where you are offered all the list, all the angas. Vikruti Yaga is there only some angas are given, but the rest of the angas are to be borrowed from Prakriti Yaga. If complete list, Prakriti Yaga. If the list is incomplete, Vikruti Yaga. So Prakriti Yaga, just like in the case of Prakriti Yaga, Vikruti Kartavya, Vikruti Yaga is to be performed. Is it clear? So what happens in Veda? There is some yaga with some mantras. There we have already given the examples. For example, for Surya Devataka yaga you want to perform. Then just you will go to that Agnya Swaha is there. So Surya Swaha you will make an Oha. Strictly speaking, in Mimamsa it is stated Uhe Amantratvam is an Niyama. If you make Oha, there will not be Mantratvam. It cannot be taken as a mantra. But here what is happening is complete mantra is not being replaced with some words, but only Agnaya is there, Suyaya is used to replace Agnaya. Therefore, here it is Oha is acceptable. If you completely change the sentence, if you change the complete sentence, then it cannot be called mantra. Okay? But keep in mind what is mantra. Someone may ask you, you just Maranatha Trayate iti mantra is the general definition. But how to decide a mantra? There is a lengthy discussion in Purvamimamsa, and finally the decision arrived at was if your guru tells you that this is a mantra, take it for granted. Kumar Bhatta also gives a number of examples. Shavara Swami, Sayana Madhava, all these people tried their best. So what happens is, if your guru tells you that it is a mantra, then take it for granted. Sharma.
So, I heard that only the Vedas come, whatever the slokas or verses comes from the Vedas, those are mantras. So,
1 minute, I got it. You see, the term shloka is used in the sense of two meanings, in two senses. One is shloka is kirti. So shloka, for example, having good kirti. Shloka is padyam, where you will find some padas. Okay, in loka you use shloka. In Veda you use mantra. Yeah. To be clear enough, what happens is there will be jokes sometimes. People do not know what is what. Whatever he says, someone with the 3 verses shlokas from Amarkosha got marriage performed. Just this said that said this said that. These people do not know the difference between mantra and shloka. Generally, mantra would have this thing, I mean, swara, etc. And shloka, unless you make it Annasalita. Yo, Veda. Someone is saying, why are you making all this? Ayatanan bhavati. What is that? Ayatanan bhavati only. Ti. Just like the Titu Pitta, that bird. Ti. Why are you saying Ti? Now what happens? You just check a good question he has. What is to be done during Muhurta of marriage? Muhurta Samaya is there. Muhurta means 48 minutes. They fix it, character fix it 9:20 to 7:20, etc. Or in Tamil Nadu, etc. What they do, 1 hour time is there for marriage, etc. They declare, then they will do something else. Okay, what is to be done? Kalpa, Kriya. Sumitra, what is to be done?
What we perform as Saptapati will be done.
Muhurta Samaya.
Muhurta, Mangalya Dharana. Mangalya Dharana.
Not putting this, what you call, Jeraka and good Jaggery mixture by each other's head.
No, the customers are a lot more different in Tamil Nadu. It is not like, I've seen Andhra weddings, but it will be totally different.
That is actually the problem, because looking at the movies, these people started doing this thing, because unnecessarily you have to bring the Jeraka and good and just make it mix, etc., etc. Okay, that is not it. Because at the time of Mangalya Dharana, they recite a shloka, not mantra. Mangalya Dharana is not prescribed in the Kalpashastra or Veda. No, not at all.
Wow. Is it?
That is Mangalyantam tunanena mama jivana hetuna kanthe badhnami subhage panjiva sharadam shatam. For 100 years you should live. I am just, you understand, the auspicious day that I am just tying around your neck. Mama jivana hetuna mama jivana hetu. If it is not there, I will be dead, etc., etc. Whatever meaning is there, you take. This is a shloka. So what happens actually, when I was explaining this to someone, they were telling, they were just murmuring, hey, what is this? Is there something else? It is there in the Sampradaya.
Nobody agrees. They will be like, what are you talking? Because they are so used to it. I tried explaining my parents that it is not in the Vaidika Shastra. Why are you doing it? And they will want to make it gold later. Initially, it will be yellow thread, the sacred thread. Mangal Sutra.
Gold, and further 2 will be there, 2 bellas will be there.
All those they bought.
This party, one another, that party, they will bring, this is big, this is small, etc. Go on fighting.
My mom said, I'll get you a ruby. I said, please leave me. This itself has no meaning. Why do you want to complicate it? Just leave it.
So what happens is actually, this has come because during the Yavana's time, they were not touching a lady, they are not looking at a lady who is married. So how to know whether married or not? There should be some sign. That is just how it entered this thing. Otherwise,
so that is, so this is still useful.
Of course, that is a different Sangika. That is Sangikachara. You call it Sangikachara. If you want, you take it. Someone asked me why only 2. I said, you 10, you make it what is there. No problem. If at all you want, you go for more. Because under Rik Sutra, Patanjali says there are 2 kinds of karmas. In Mahābhāṣyam, Patanjali is going to. Generally what? Punya karma, papa karma. But there is one more karma. That is neither punya nor papa. Ashishta pratishiddham hi na punyaya bhavanti na papaya. This is clearly stated by Patanjali under Rik. In 2 places it is stated. One we will study, in Paspashanikam also it is there. Ashishta pratishiddham hi. Ashishta apratishidham, ashishta pratishidham hi na punyaya bhavanti na papaya. Right? Yatha hikkita hasita kanduyitani. Yatha hikkita hasita samasa. Hikkita hasita kanduyitani. What does it mean? See, there are certain karmas. Suppose I am going at a high speed on my motorbike or car. Punya or papa? Neither. Understand the point? Patanjali gives a different example, so he will explain. Okay. So, asishta, it is neither prescribed, apratisiddha, nor it is censured, restricted. Okay. Do it, don't do it. It is not said about a particular thing. Then what? Because in Ashtādhyāyī Purāṇānaṁ sāram sabuddhritam paropakārah punyāya pāpāya parapedam, Vyāsa Maharshi. Who can read, go through the 18 Puranas we have written, oh, so many things. What is the gist? I want very simple and easy. So, paropakārah punyāya pāpāya parapedam. Similarly, he said another thing, idam punya vidam papam. You have already noted down? No?
Not this. Rest of the things I have noted it down. The one you are going to say, I meant to note it. Idam punyam idam papam.
Idam punyam idam papam. Ityetasmin padadvaye. Idam punyam idam papam. Ityetasmin padadvaye. Achandalam manushyanam. Achandalam manushyanam alpam shastra prayojanam. Idam punyam idam papam ityetasmin padadvaye achandalam manushyanam alpam shastra prayojanam. This verse is quoted by Kumar Bhatta in Shlokavartikam. You can write Ku Bhatta. Bad Bhatta. Okay. Kumar Bhatta in Shlokavartikam and Bhartrihari in Brahmakanda of Vakyapadiyam. Both have quoted this. Vyasa Maharshi says, this is punyam, punyakaryam. This is papam, papakaryam. Ityetasmin padadvaye, with regard to both these words, achandalam, down to a chandala, alpam shastra prayojanam. Shastra is not required. Why shastra? No. People buy, but generally they do know these things. Which is punyam, which is papam. Now, strictly speaking, chandala means who is there in the burial ground, etc. People generally think. But in Dharma Shastras, if the husband is a Shodra and the wife is a Brahmani, then the children become chandalas. Okay. So, like that, it happens. So, here where are we? Prakritivat Vikruti Kartavya. Like Prakriti Yaga, where all the angas are supplied, Vikruti Yaga, where not all the angas only partially supplied, it has to be performed like this. Is it clear? So, for that what happens, one should know the linga, vibhakti, etc., that we have already discussed. Now, is it clear? That paragraph is clear?
Yeah.
Because without Mimamsa, people don't understand this. They are connected, interconnected. That is, Oha is over. So, Raksha, Vedana Raksha is over, Oha is over.
Oha is over. And then how do you understand something? How do you get the knowledge? By 4 pramanas that we spoke about. Pratyaksha pramanam.
Yes.
Anumana pramanam, Shabda pramanam, Upamanam. All of these.
Generally 4 pramanas. There are many pramanas.
Generally 4. Yeah, you have mentioned that, but I am not saying those. The 10, 4, and the
how many pramanas are there actually? Considering the Advait, they have a 6, and the total overall, how many pramanas are there?
Yes. Anupalabdhi is also accepted in Mimamsa. Vedanta also they are accepted. Whereas Vaisheshika say only 2. Pratyaksam, Anumanam. Then he says, Etena Shabdam Yakshyatam. Shabda Pramana is already included in Anumana Pramana. That is what Kanada Maharshi says. Whereas in Nyaya Darshanam, Akshapada says, Sotrakarta says, Pratyaksha Anumana Upamana Shabdaha. 4 Pramanas. I will send that this thing, Pramanas in Indian philosophy, the list is there in a chart. The chart I will put it on this thing.
I have a book. I have read 2 books on the Pramanas. I have my
Yeah.
part. So
Okay.
that's why. So I have read about approximately around 10 pramanas are there.
10 pramanas are there.
Yeah.
Total. Because you see, this is it clearly given there. Vyākaraṇam, how many memas are clearly given, all the Pauranikas?
Yes, it gives.
Purana
So,
also?
like you said, that all of them have a different. Even Buddhism has a two actual one.
Two only.
Two only. Yeah.
They do not accept the Shabda Pramana, because if you accept Shabda Pramana, Veda is to be accepted as Pramana. They have got their own problems. Okay, first sentence is Pratyakshamekam Charvakaha. Charvaka.
I have actually read. I have even actually read the debate between our Vedic and Nastika, which is Buddhism.
Yes.
On the pramanas also.
Yes.
But they have very good. Even with the two, they have completed whole religion actually. With the
The origin of Pramanas is given from Veda.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh?
It does not directly gives us a Vedas, but it takes the majorly. It is more focused on the Advaita Vedanta side. So
that is outside. I will give you note down, Sumitra. Smriti Pratyakshamaidihyam. Smriti Pratyakshamaidihyam. Anumanaschatushtayam.
Smritihi Pratyaksha.
Aidihyam. Smriti Pratyakshamaidihyam. Anumanaschatushtayam. Reference note down. Reference is Aruna Prapathaka. Comma Taitiriyaranyakam -1. Generally, no Shastra Pandita would refer to Veda. No, they don't give this kind of a reference from Veda. In Veda itself,
Taittiriya Aranyakam is the very the text is hard to find actually in the online.
Maybe. But how I learned these things, which one? First one is called the Aruna Prapathaka. That is the largest chapter in all Vedas. 130 prashnas. It will take 4 to 5. Early morning 3 o'clock you have to start till morning 7 o'clock it will go. So for such a long time one has to sit and learn. Or part by half. I like to half. Okay. The second part is called Ashtādhyāyī Brahmanam, where about this Dana and about Sandhyavandanam, about Panchamahayagyas, about Anadhyayas, etc. are described. The Ashtādhyāyī Brahmanam second one. Okay. Third one is Chittishruga, etc. So this is very useful. This Ashtādhyāyī Brahmanam is not only one. This is called Surya Namaskara. You have Surya Namaskaras are done with Aruna Prapathaka only. For health.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the origin of Pramana. Since you have asked, it is my responsibility to answer. So where are you now? Proceed, Sumitra.
Therefore, to protect the Vedas, Vyākaranasya avashyakam. To protect the Vedas, therefore, to protect the Vedas, Vyākaranam has to be learned. That is done. Uha is done. So, and avashyam yajñagatena purushena yathayatam viparinamayitabhyaha. To know the vibhakti linga, which is not everything is given. They have to be changed. For that, one should know the Vyākarana.
Yes.
That you should be. And what do you mean by protecting the Vedas now? That was another question. Lopagama varna vikaragno hi samyak vedanam paripalayishyati iti. So lopa agama
Varna Vedan Paripalayishyati iti. Lopagama vikaragno hi. Just give 2 readings, you will get by heart. Mahābhāṣyam also. So Lopa, see Varna Lopa will be there sometimes. Agama, Varna Agama will be there sometimes.
Varna
Vikara, change of Varna will be there. Yaha, the one who knows all these things, he certainly Vedan Paripalayishyati. In the future, he is the only person who will protect the Vedas. Vedas means their form. Meaning also will come later. We'll come to that point also. Is it clear now?
Clear.
Proceed. Uha is
So
over.
in Vedas, Uha is over. Uha Kalvati. So with that, it is over. Uha is the supplement. You gave an example like Vrikshaha means Asti.
No,
That is the supplement.
Uha means Agnaye is there in Veda. You will,
likewise in the Veda mantras.
You are doing for Surya Devata, then you will change it into
Suryaya
Swaha. Agnaye Swaha is there. Suryaya Swaha you will make. How to make Akaranta, Pumlinga Shabda, Chaturthi Bhakti will be Suryaya, just like Ramaya. That you should know. Then only you will be in a position to make it Prakrutivat Vikruti Kartavya. Here it is Amaya. Then.
In Vedas, mantraha ukta. Mantra ukta.
Mantras are in Veda. They are called mantras. Shloka is Laukik Sanskritam. Shloka or Padyam.
Viparinamati.
Viparinamayatavyaha. See, Tavya Prachya, Idagama, Itavya has come. Viparinama. Vipari Upasargas, Nama Dhatu, it will become Nama. Viparinama or Viparinamayatavya. You have to change. They have to be changed.
Accordingly, you have to change.
Linga and Vibhakti. Is it clear?
Yajnagatena Purushena, for that,
one should know.
the Purohita should know Vyākaraṇa, so that he can change the Vibhakti or wherever necessary accordingly.
Okay.
And Tan na Vyākaraṇah Vyākaraṇah Viparinamayyitum na Shaknoti. They will not be able to do it. The ability will not be there for them.
Non-Vyākarana, Vyākarana will not be capable, will not be able to change the lingas, vibhaktis, etc., etc. Is it clear?
Clear. Tasmat adhyayam Vyākarana. For that one should practice.
Panchami. Panchami tasmat Hato Panchami.
With that we start again. Agamaha Kalvati.
Agamaha Kalvati. Here what happens? Raksha, Uha, Lagu, Asandeha are Prayojanas. This Agama is there, no? Agama means prescribing Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra says this is Prayojaka. Prayojaka means the one which will prescribe something. This is not a Prayojanam. Actually, Dharma Shastra says you read out, then you will understand. First read out. Agamah Khalvati.
Agamah Khalvati. Brahmanena.
Brahmanena. Slowly say Brahmanena.
Brahmanena.
Now it is correct.
Nishkarano Dharma Shadango Vedodhyayo Vedaha Adhyeyo Adhyaya Gneyascha.
That's all.
Cheti. Iti. Gneyascha.
Now, see, Agama Khalvati. Agama, the term is used in different senses. Once Veda, sometimes Dharma Shastra, sometimes Shaivagama, Vaishnavagama. Agama is used just like that. So here Dharma Shastra, he is quoting. This is actually one commentator says this is from Veda. Kumar Bhatta says this is not Veda, this is Dharma Shastra only. Whatever it is. Agama Khalvapi. Khalvapi is a group of avyayas which says is there no in that sense. So Agama says that means since Dharma Shastra says you have to do this. That is not a specific prayojana we cannot call it. It is a prayojaka. Prayojaka means who incites you, who encourages you to do something, who prescribes, Dharma Shastra prescribes you to do something. What is that? Brahmanena, Avashyam, certainly. Brahmanena Avashyam. Next. Sharango Dharmaha.
Nishkarana. Nishkarano Dharma Sharango.
Nishkarana. See here, Karana means phalam. He is Nishkaranam beating him. Nishkarana means here not hetu or reason. Here, Karana means phalam. Nishphalam. That means do not question. No questions asked we use generally. Here also the same. Nishkaranam. Without questioning about the result. Generally it is said, no, karmanyeva adhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. Shri Krishna says, you have adhikara only in performing karmas. Okay? But don't ask about the result. Similarly here also, nishkaranam, that means without expecting anything in return or without questioning the very result of what is this activity I am going to get involved. Are you getting? Nishkaranaha dharmaha. What kind of dharma? Shadangaha Vedaha. The Veda associated with Shadanga, Shiksha, Vyākaraṇam, Chandas, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Kalpaha. Shiksha deals with the pronunciation, Vyākaraṇam deals with the Sadhu Shabdas, Chandas deals with the meters, Pankti, Anushtup, Pradishtup, Gayatri, etc. 7 the Chandas are there. Niruktam, Nisheshena Uchyate Artha, Enanete Niruktam, that it deals with the meaning, Artha. Vyakarana with Shabda. Niruktam with Artha. Kalpaha, Kalpyate, Samarthyate, Vedamantranam, Prayogaha, Atra. That you know. Vedamantras are there, but what to do? What is to be done? What is the Kriya? What is the activity that is to be performed while reciting these mantras? That is clearly stated in Kalpa. So, mantra is mantra, Shabda. Kriya, activity, is taken up by Kalpa. So, these are 6 angas. Shadangaha, Vedaha, okay, Adhyetavyaha, one has to study Veda. What is this studying Veda? There are 1130 branches of Veda. Which one should one do? Actually, strictly speaking, one has to study all the 4 Vedas. But in the Katakas, it is said, Trin Girirupana, Darishayanchakara. Each 12 years he took. And then he went to Guru. The Guru showed him very big mountains, 3 mountains, and said, for the last 36 years, each 12 years, you have taken Ekaikasman Mushtinada de Mushti, handful of this thing he has taken from each thing and said, this is what you have learned. Oh my God, what is this? Ananta Vaivedaha mantra. Vedas are Ananta. It is not possible. Although I give you, you are asking time and again from yes, Bharadwaja Indra. So, although I give you 1 more 100 years, difficult to. So, then what to do? Shakha. Not the shakhas that are among Brahmins. Nowadays, people are fighting with the Yavashaka Vaidika.
RSS.
Huh?
RSS.
All these shakhas. That's okay. But among Brahmanas, there are shakhas, especially in Andhra, maybe in Tamil Nadu also. Different shakhas are there.
Both in Smarta and Vaishnava, there are shakhas.
That also you can take. That is a later development.
Okay.
Vaishnavas refused to pronounce Isha.
Shiva.
Isha, just 2 examples I will give you. So in Telugu, Visha means 1400 grams. Before the metric kilogram came to existence, there was Visha. Visha, just buying that we call the lady fingers, for example, to give 1 Visha. That Vaishnava doesn't want to change. So give half of 2 halves. Padalam. So the seller says, you mean Visha? The same thing, Baba, 2 padalams you give. He should not pronounce the Isha. That is one problem. So they never say Venkateshwara, they say Srinivasa. And if at all in the rice by mistake some stone here comes now, then what will you do? You remove the stone and eat. Then these people actually crush the stone between their teeth because Shiva, just now you got Shiva in my mouth, I won't leave him. So what happens is, people, you got the point. In the Varnam rice, cooked rice, you get 1 stone. What will you do generally? You remove it and do it. They don't want to throw it away. They want to crush like that. So there is one village, it is called Shivakodi. He wants to go to Shivakodi. He should not pronounce. So he is asking, where is Vishnukodi? The other people said, there is no Vishnukodi, only Shivakodi. The same thing, Baba, Vishnukodi, tell me where it is. This problem is this thing. So these people went on like that. But here, Veda Shakha means Rik Shakha, Yajush Shakha, Sama Shakha, Atharva Shakha. So whatever is your Shakha, first you complete that. Later, if you have the capacity, if you are interested, if you can, then go for another Shakha also. So that is Veda Adhyayan means Sharango Veda Adhyetavyaha, to be learned. Okay, he has to recite, and then Jnayascha, meaning also is to be known. Actually, there is one sutram in Treatise, Tadadhite Tadveda. Someone asked me on BVP when I addressed him Vidwan. Then he said, I am not a Vidwan. I said, Pāṇini said, you are a Vidwan. Because what Pāṇini said, who is a Vyākaraṇa? Vyākaranam Adhite Vettiva. Who learns, who knows. Both are Vyākaranas. See the gap to close, should not be too much of gap between Guru and Siksha. What kind of usage language? So, Tadadhite Tadveda, that is the Sotram. Anparichya welcome, Vyakaranam Adhite Vettiva Vyākarana. Vetti means knows, Adhite means learning. Here what happened in Ramaniyartha Pratipadaka Shabda Kavyam, Rasagangadhara, then when he said Shabda is Kavyam, Artha is not Kavyam, etc., then Nagesha was writing a commentary on that. Then he said, no, according to Mahābhāṣyam, Vedatvam is there Ubhayavritti in Shabda and Artha. No, it cannot be separate. Yaha Sampatham Pathati, Kasit Sampatham Pathati. Do you say he knows Kasi Artham Navetti? All this is Mahābhāṣyam under Tadadhite Tadveda. So, Kavyatvam is Vyāsajiya-vritti, that is spreading into both Shabda and Artha simultaneously. If you say Dampachyam cannot be then there either an only husband or only wife. It is spread across both simultaneously. So when Veda is like that, what about Kavya? Why are you talking about Shabda is not Kavya, Artha is not Kavya? Who said? That means Jagannatha Pandit Raya did not digest Mahābhāṣyam. There was a number of mistakes. Anyway, leave it. So now what happens, although he said Veda Adhyetavyaha, why to say Jnayascha? When you said Shrangaha Vedaha, that means automatically he would anyway try to understand with the help of the Vedangas. Then why are you saying Jnayascha? That is just only for clarity. Sometimes you also say, the rice is good and the curry also good, mix both and then eat. And doesn't he know whether that would he eat separately rice and separately curry? Nevertheless, for the sake of speaking, you have to speak something. You cannot just go on looking like a villain and get on offer food and etc. We generally don't. Therefore, Jnayascha, Arthaha Jnayaha Ityarthaha. So not only Veda, nowadays you come across Vedic scholars who learn simply Kaschit Sampatham Patati, Patanjali was saying. They just read out the text. About meaning? No. Got it? So this is actually Prayojaka. It is not a Prama Prayojanam, but Patanjali mixed both Prayojanas, the rest 4, Raksha, Oha, Lagu, Asandeha, and this Agama. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Read out. Agama Khalvapi. Brahmanena Avashyam Sharango, Nishkaranam Dharmaha, Sharango Vedo, Jheyo, Jnayascha.
Pradhanancha Shatshu Angeshu Vyākaraṇa.
Now, Parapadartha Jnana. See, Vyākaranam, Mukha Vyākaranam Smritam, Pāṇini Siksha says. Siksha Ghranam. Siksha is just on a par with nose. Kalpa, Hastav Kalpaha. Hands are kalpa. Tomorrow in that class, tomorrow I am going to give all those things. Veda Purusha, which Anga represents which limbs of Veda Purusha, that I will do tomorrow in the class. So here you can save time. There, Mukham Vyākaranam Smritam Pāṇini Siksha says, Vyākarana is just like mouth. After all, for health or speech, because speech is important here. So what happens there? If you learn Vyākaranam, you will know Pada, Padartha, etc. So that you will be in a position to get the Vakyartha. Pada Padartha Dvara Vakyartha Jnanam Jayate Vyākaranena. Tasmat Vyākaranam Shatsu Angeshu Vedangeshu Pradhanam. Pradhana Bhotam. Isn't it? So the same is taken up in Dhanyaloka, etc. Maharshi, Kavya Prakasha, etc. And said Vyākarana Vayakaranaha, Panditaha Vayakaranaha, Vidvansaha Vayakaranaha. Vyākaraṇamūlatvat sarva vidyanam. Dhanyaloka. Without Vyākaraṇa, no vidya can be learned. Once you have command of one Vyākaraṇa, just rest of the vidyas will go just off. This is yes, the meaning easily. Because you know the prakriti, the prachaya, etc. That's why Vyākaraṇa is important. Vyākaraṇa is the backbone of. Next.
Pradhane cha krito yatnaha phalavan bhavati.
Isn't it? See, there is pradhana one thing, there is guna unimportant, apradhana is another thing. Where should you put your efforts in? First you have to put in the efforts for job. Later on you may go for a house, for rent. So pradhana is job. Apradhana is the rest. Therefore, pradhane kritaha yatnaha, the effort that is put in, the important thing, okay, that will be phalavan bhavati. That would give you the result you are expecting. Getting? Next.
Laghvarte chādhyayam vyākaranam.
Laghvartha chādhyayam vyākaranam. Another prayojanam is that laghvartham, laghu means easy. Easily you want to get shabdas. He is going to give the story later how this Devaguru was the teacher and Indra was the student. 1000 divine years was the time. Nantan jagama, that he is going to give anyway explain. So laghvartham, easily. What is the way of doing? Suppose take krudhatu. On krudhatu you make tavya tavyani yaraha, kartavyam karneyam, shaprachya, kriya, karoti, akarishyatu, karotu, chakara. So many hundreds of shabdas just will be coming. Bhu dhatu, take another dhatu. Bhavaha, prabhavaha, vibhavaha, abhavaha, bhavaha, vibhava, anubhava, you have Natya Shastram. So many shabdas are coming. Bhavati, bhavet, abhavatu, bhavishyati. So many shabdas, hundreds of shabdas. How do you know? Just through Vyākaraṇam. Pāṇini says, this is the prakriti. Just go on adding these prachayas. Don't take any trouble. You will get hundreds of shabdas. Thousands of shabdas. And then someone asks, just bhavati, I know, Vattamana let bhuti, bhavati. That's all. Okay? So fast. Like that. Laghvarthancha adhyayam vyakaranam.
Yeah.
To know in the simplest way the shabdas. Okay? Go ahead.
Brahmanena avashyam shabda jnaya iti.
Brahmanena avashyam shabda jnaya. A Brahmana should know shabdas. Certainly. Because that is dharma. That means what he says is, he is saying everywhere you can, it is a nitya karma, not a kama karma. That you should not forget. You always should remind the students, you see, it is nitya karma, he is coming to the tent. Avashyam, avashyam, he says. That means you cannot escape.
Na chantarena vyakaranam lagmunopayena shabdaha shakya jnatum.
Isn't it? Nacha antarena vyakaranam, antarena yukte. One sotram is there in Karakas. So there tritiya will come. Antarantarena yukte. So vyakaranena antaram shabdaha na shakyaha jnatum. See, without vyakaranam, it is not possible to know the shabdas. Nacha antarena vyakaranam shabdaha shakyaha vijnatum. Jnatam, to know, vijnatam, visheshena jnatam. Yes.
Asandehartha chādhyayam vyakaranam.
Asandeharthancha adhyayam vyakaranam. He is going to take up an example and show you what is this sandeha. Sandeha means confusion. Whether it is Poro Prakriti Saratva, Bahureho Prakrutya Purvapadam. If it is Bahuri Samasa, you will get Poropada Prakriti Swara. And if it is Tatpurusha Samasa, in both ways it can go. If it is Tatpurusha Samasa, then Antodatta Swara will be there. Samasasya is Uttam is there. Swara Prakaranam. That rule says, if it is Tatpurusha Samasa, make Antodatta, the Samasa. Pronounced as Antodatta. Udatta at the end. If it is Bahuvrihi, Purvapada Prakriti Swaratvam. Purvapada Prakriti Swara, whatever swara is there for Purvapada, that you pronounce. So it is, one is in the beginning, the other is at the end. That means there is difference. So how to know? Well, these are that. So depending on the samasa, you would decide as to whether you have to pronounce that samasa Sora Prashati as Tatpurusha or as Bahuvrihi. Is it clear? That we are going to study in the next class more, elaborate we are going to study. Any doubts in today's class? What happened to your this thing, that person?
Arvind Balaji. I don't know why he didn't join. He didn't say anything.
Initially he said, later on it becomes a habit. Okay, why to say? No. Mahābhāṣyam is full of psychology. You will understand psychology. Oh, this may be the idea. Psychology is not a subject separately. Psychology, parapsychology, they say. Any doubts?
Yeah. No.
Things are clear?
Sorry? Yes, things are clear. Today is very, very clear.
Just to give one or two readings.
Sure.
So all these things will be on the tip of your tongue. So tomorrow when you teach, you just without a book, you just go on giving these things. And that is
not sure, not up to the mark, at least for me. It will take one more than mark.
No. Right from the beginning, go on a reading, give a guide. Well, after some time, what happens? You will be confident. Oh, up to this point, I got by heart. Later, this thing like that you go on doing. So what happens is, Pustakastha cha yavidya. Otherwise, Sumitra note down Pustakastha cha yavidya. There may be thousands. You will have to look at the thousands of pages with the quotations only. Pustakastha cha yavidya. Parahaste cha yadhanam. Pustakastha cha yavidya. Parahaste cha yadhanam. Karyakale samayate. Karyakale samayate. Nasa vidya separately. Natadhanam. Nasa vidya. Natadhanam. Pustakastha jaya vidya parahaste jayadhanam. Karyakale samayate. Nasa vidya natadhanam. See, Pustakastha jaya, there is a lot of knowledge. People go on purchasing books. But knowledge is there already in the books. Where is it? There. Not here. Parahaste Chayadhanam. We have 1 lakh rupees. But where is it? With Mr. Rao. What would he do? I don't know. Karyakale, Karyasya Kalaha, Karyakalaha Shashti. When the time, in idiomatic English, when the time and the tide arrive, when you have something to do with that Vidya and Dhanam, Nasa Vidya, don't call it Vidya. Natadhanam, it is yours only, no doubt. I'm fully confident about agreeing with you, but it is not Dhanam. We do not.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful to read.
Is it that? You
Beautifully articulated.
So what happens? Pustakastha, pustake tishtati pustakastha, saptami samasa. Ya vidya, which vidya, yattado nitya sambandhat. Note down, Sumitra. Yattadoho nitya sambandhat.
Yattadoho
nitya sambandhat. Yaha saha, yato tato, yena tena. Yavat tavat. When you employ one, the other one would automatically come. Nitya sambandha is there. So, sa vidya, ya vidya, pustakastha ya vidya, sana vidya. Parahaste yadhanam, tadana dhanam. When you actually require. So, the white man used to call walking libraries. My God, each person has got so many books on the tip of the tongue. Is it possible? They never carry any book, but they go on just lecturing, talking. What is this? Okay, so if you do not put to use your, Vyādha Shakti, the brain, Jnana Shakti, whatever memory, it will automatically. If you do not get it blunted, if you do not use a fan, do not use a motorbike or car, what will happen? Same thing here also, isn't it? So you have to put to use. And nowadays, for example, 16, that 256. Immediately we say. If you go to America, he says, 1 minute, 16 into 16. Someone was telling me, if you go to Russia, it is very difficult for people to understand you. Why? What happens? You ask for 10 pens, 5 pencils, 3 erasers. Sure. Don't be too fast, please. 10 pens. Wait a minute. 10 pens, 10 pens. 10 pens. Now what you say? 5 pencils. Well, okay, let's wait. 5 pens. Then you say 3 erasers. 3 erasers. Thank you. Because, so I ask people, I advise people, think fast, understand fast, and speak fast then only. But most of the cases, it will be very difficult for people. You have to maintain the speed. About speed in Shiksha, we are going to study tomorrow. How to speak, how to teach, at what speed, etc., etc. The Dhruta Madhya Galambita, in Sangeeta also you have the vrittis. The same thing in Bharatiya Shiksha. That tomorrow we are going. Is it okay? Any doubts? Pāṇini Vācāyana Vadinilabhya Shabda Vidya Sampradaya Katrabhyo Vichiradabhya Paramanabhyo Madhyo Nubhyo Gurubhyaha Shubham Bhavya.
No, धन्यवाद.